amazing.
Great. So I want to say hello to everyone joining us. And hi, Monica. Hi, Romina. Hi, Dory. My name is Katie Mason. I am your host, where I will take you along this fireside Q&A with my friend Lynn, who I met not so long ago, and we've connected on our backgrounds, and I love the work that she does, and I'll let her tell you about who she is. But for me, you can feel free to reach out and connect with me on LinkedIn and Instagram. I host a ton of these chats for Power to Fly, and I love this virtual engagement space, and I love sharing about best practices of how we can run successful meetings and be able to talk with each other and have good dialogue. And I do a lot of other stuff too, and I love to celebrate and elevate our women of color, and also welcoming allies along. And yes to all the conversations that bring us closer. And with that, I am really honored to introduce Lynn Luong to our talk, Reveal Your True Identity and Power Through Your Authentic Style. So Lynn, can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? And we just want to learn from you today. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Katie. So a little bit about myself. First of all, thanks for having me here today. What an honor. And it's been a long time coming and waiting until today. So I'm really happy to be here and be here with everyone. And thank you for all the questions being submitted. And I can't wait to answer those and help you with them. So a little bit about me. So I'm a style coach, as Katie said, and I have been working in the fashion industry for about more than 5 years now. And during that time, I've learned, how to make clothes fit on a woman's body that makes her feel good, and how the proportion, how the fit goes, so that it actually helps her, feel safe in her body and help her feel confident in her body. And carrying that experience with me and what I've been through in my past, just, about how I've been struggling with body image and learning to love myself along the way. And because of those two things, the inside and the outside, I combine them together and enroll myself into Style Coach Institute to help me certify to be able to help women how to love themselves and how to express their true authentic self from the inside to the outside, and they get to express who they really are in the world. They live the life that they desire and live the life that they want. And my purpose in life is really, truly help women, express their true authentic self outwardly and feel confident to go out there and create the life that they really, really want, instead of, watching from the sideline and watching other people live. Because I have been in that position, and it really isn't fun, to look into the mirror every morning and being afraid, or not knowing how to, or being afraid of what people think of you, being judged by other people, and you decided to dress as someone else instead of dressing as you. So that is why I'm here, and I can't wait to dive in. I'm super excited, and that's about me. So
Cool. Yes, thank you for the introduction, and of just a few little things. Remember, you can, I will continue to drop some messages to everyone, and you can leave some comments for us in the chat, and then you can also vote for the questions that you like, and also add questions of your own. And be sure to tag us if you feel like you're learning something and you want to share the wisdom with your community. And of course, today we are talking about revealing your true identity and power through your authentic style. we're also talking about how can we make getting dressed in a rush in the morning fun and stress-free. Also, we will be talking about how to make an influential first impression through your style, because 90% of communication is nonverbal. And I will stop the screen, and so we can just zoom in to us.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I will get started with the first question. For the audience here, um, they're starting out new in a workplace and wanting to know what are the unwritten rules of what to wear in a
Mm.
workplace. Can you
That's
let us know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Unwritten rules. To start out in a workplace. Well, I think it depends on what kind of image you want to project to about who you are to other people, right? I think that's the unwritten rules that not a lot of people talk about. I mean, there are other rules that I can give you, such as make sure that you dress well fitted clothes, well taken care of clothes, no holes whatsoever, no, like making sure it's fits you well, it fits your like it fits the atmosphere and the place that you're going to, like. But I think the unwritten rule that I think we don't really talk about, which is dressing in a way that's authentically expressing who you are from the inside. Because when you work at a place nowadays, especially, we're in a culture where we are so in need of authenticity of who we are showing up truly. And so you want to just start out on a fresh page as well. So dressing authentically, I would say, is the hidden rule, like the number one hidden rule to, show up confidently in a workplace. So find out what kind of style is your authentic style. Whether if you're a colorful person, like what resonates with you when it comes to colors, what resonates with you when it comes to your the way that you feel in your body with the clothes items. Get intimate with it, get to know it instead of being afraid and not wanting to try it. And I would say, learn about your body, learn about what body shapes you are. And I know that there are rules about body shapes that aren't 100% you have to follow. That's not my intention when I tell people to learn about your body shape. My intention when about learning about body shape is when you really know your body and get intimate with it and stop denying it and get and have acceptance for it. You start dressing it in a way that complements it instead of hiding it. For example, right, like I have a smaller bust, and that's something that I have always been insecure about. So what I used to do is I would wear a lot of push-up bras, going and projecting an image that I thought people want. And so for the longest time, that's what I was doing. And it was so, this is very vulnerable to me. And I was like, I don't really usually share this, but it's necessary. So anyway, back to my point, like I would wear things like that every single day. And it got to a point where it's just exhausted to just be someone else instead of being me and letting people seeing me. So really work on learning how to accept your body and learning how to dress for your body in a way that complements it. And there's no right or wrong body. Everybody is so unique. It's so cliche, but it's so true when you really get like get like intimate with that idea. It's like, oh, like I can actually love my body and accept it for what it is and dress it in a way that makes me feel good about myself. So to summarize um, all of the things that I have said, get intimate with your color, know what color complements you, know what color doesn't, and what colors makes you feel dull and put you in a box. Get intimate with your authentic style, what lights you up. Like, are you a Are you a romantic type? Are you an edgy type? How do you incorporate that? Find information and knowledge. Like there's so much out there if you don't know. Google it, YouTube it, reach out to me, reach out to another stylist for the knowledge. And then the last thing is learning to accept your body and dressing for your body type.
Wonderful. I want to talk about the personal brand. How do you shape a personal brand? And so connecting the style, your personal style to your personal brand.
Yeah, that's a good question. So your personal style is so congruent with your personal brand. So your personal brand should reflect who you are. So get to know your personalities, get to know your values, get to know what's great about you, get to know what you stand for, get to know, your superpower. And usually your superpower comes with, I would always, when I work with clients, I would always ask them, if you have to describe who you really want to become, who you want the world to know you, in 3 words, what would they be? And usually it'll just come to them like that. And then from there, you can build a brand. Like I'll go deeper into, I would give an example. Like I would ask a client, how do you want to show up? And they would be like, I want to show up powerful. I want to show up warmth, or, like unique, and I want to show up authentic. And so those 3 words really says a lot about a person, right? Like what they stand for. She stands for power, empowering other people. She stands for authentic, like showing up authentically and empower other people to be authentic. She wants to be warm, which is generous, whatever that looks like, being a giver or whatever. And when you identify those 3 words for yourself, go deeper and ask yourself, how does that word relate in terms of clothing? What makes me feel powerful? What makes me feel authentic? What does that look like for me? And when you write it down on a piece of paper, okay, so when I wear a dress, I feel powerful. So for you, that's powerful. That's your brand. And dive deeper, like what kind of dresses that you like? What kind of color? Is it pink? Is it like flowy dress? Is it fitted dress? How do you feel in those type of dresses? And really sit down and ask yourself those questions and get to know yourself. And it's so crazy when you take time, get to know yourself, you really just find out how much power and how much gifts we have in ourselves. And it's really interesting to see it manifested in the physical form of clothes. And when people see those, when people see your brand and how you take time to project your brand through the self-awareness process, people really relate to that, because they're like, okay, like I like who she is. I like how she's presenting herself. She's not afraid to be herself. And so I would say that's how you would build a brand from your personal style. Does that make sense? Okay, great.
Yeah, I love all the pieces of information you provided about getting to know your body better and then figuring out what works for you. It also led me to think about like putting together a mood board of, just clippings of images of styles that resonate with you, and
Yeah.
then experiment from that.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So like when I work with client, we would work together in a vision session, and I would ask her all of these questions, and then I would help her build a Pinterest board, where we gather all of the images, because images are, a picture speak 1,000 words, right? Like you could think a word in your head and communicate with the other person, but yet when you look at a photo, like you both have a very different idea of what how you relate to it. So definitely a Pinterest board is very, very crucial. And finding like images on um on I wanted to say social media, but I wanted to be really careful with social media, because there's so many images that aren't real. So if you do use social media, just make sure that you are looking for images that are reflecting who you are, meaning, you know, um, they look like you and they're doing great things. They're the people who are showing um, like boundaries breaking, limitless, where they're doing something that is that was impossible in the body shape that there are, uh, with like that you could relate with. That's what I'm trying to say. For example, right? Like again, like this is another vulnerable moment. So I used to really want to be in a relationship, and but I thought I was ugly because my mom would give me that message of like, oh, you're so ugly if you were this or you were that, or if you have blonde hair, blue eyes, like you'll be, you know, if you look like that, you'll be much prettier. That's the idea. I'm not saying that's what my mom said, but that's the idea as a child that I interpret it, right? So for the longest time, I thought I was so ugly that I couldn't, like find like someone who would love me. And so because all I was looking at was just pictures of girls who are blonde hair, blue eyes, and I was constantly comparing myself to that. And at one point I was just like, wait a minute. Like actually one day I saw this girl who, well, she wasn't like really looking at me, looking like me, but she was, like on a bigger scale, like a bigger, she was tall and bigger size than me, and she was able to, still be able to find love. And so I was like, wait a minute, like, that really just kind of like switched my mindset a little bit. And I was like, um maybe because I'm looking at like the wrong examples, and that's why, and I'm getting the wrong examples from the wrong people, and that's why I'm not, I kept constantly comparing myself to that. So like, what if I find examples that look like me? What if I find more? Like, this is a way, this is about possibilities too, right? Like you get to train your mindset to look for possibility instead of looking for limit. And so just be able to be aware of that. So the point I'm trying to make here is that make sure when you do look for pictures and inspiration, make sure that you look for pictures that you could relate to. Make sure that you look for pictures that are that are relatable, but also out of the box, if that makes sense. If there's a style that you really love, look for that body type. Like, how do I wear that style in that body type, and see how other people do it, right? People are so creative, which means there's a possibility out there. So that's what I wanted to add to that.
And I feel like it's really inspirational to have some role models to look up to, and then seeing what they're doing, and then being and feeling like you could step into their story a little bit. And
Yeah, exactly. If they can do it, like I can do it. And then find a way that you can do it in your own way.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So, some people, maybe they think, okay, I want to do a very simple, muted kind of wardrobe with black, white, and beige. Um, Maybe can you give us some insight on like how that is perceived, in comparison to someone else who has a wardrobe that's full of color and patterns?
Hmm.
Like, what
Yeah.
does it say?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it here's the secret. Like, it doesn't really matter what other people say. It really isn't, Um, the question that I would rather have you ask is, what does it say about you if that's what you choose? Is that something that you resonate with? Is that something that you love wearing? Is that something that makes you feel like you authentically? Or is that something to cover up? Or is that something that because you want to play safe or you want to cover who you really are? And those two questions can really tell you a lot about that decision. If it is reflecting who you are, then great, work around it. Make sure that it fits right. Make sure that the proportion of the clothes are is great on your body. Like it, meaning like it fits at the right place. It's not, uh, going out of proportion, and it's clean and it's taken care of, and it's style in a very classic way because it sounds like classic style, right? Minimal style. Then that's your personality. Then that's awesome. People get it. People know who you are, and people know like what they get from you if that's who you are. But if your personality is like, oh, I love color, I love dresses, or your personality is like a rocker chick that you want to like wear rocker t-shirt, but you're afraid of what people think, or you're afraid that it might not fit into how people want to perceive you, then that's something that you get to look inside, right? Like, why do I care so much about what other people think that I'm willing to change not only my wardrobe, and I'm sure some like your life, because the thing that you do in um, at one place is the thing that you do in everything, right? If you do that in your closet, that means that you do that in your life. You're hiding some part of yourself because you're afraid of what people think. So I guess my answer for that is really pay attention to the intention of why you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yeah. So, yeah, I want to go over to the question of how do you be stylish and be comfortable at the same time? Maybe you want to present yourself in a way that is put together and
Mm-hmm.
has the executive look.
Yeah.
And so, how do you do that? Be comfortable and stylish.
Yeah, so I love that question. So, especially nowadays, it's just easier to be comfortable and stylish at the same time, right? So, another way that I would always do that is super easy is I would pair something that's really sporty with something that's very structured. So, for example, it could be like a t shirt and jeans, which is very casual, but then I will put on like a blazer, and then I could choose either to wear tennis shoes with it. And you want to be careful with tennis shoes. So it, I mean, you can reach out to me for more examples so that I can give you photos to easier understand it. But tennis shoes, you want to choose tennis shoes that are a little bit more elevated, but still yet comfortable, meaning it has some sort of specialty to it, or it has like a more of a clean shape than the running tennis shoes that we usually do. And that combo is my favorite combo to be really comfortable and still stylish at the same time. So the key here is the formula of pairing something that's loose fitted and comfortable with something that's structure. Another example I would say is pairing t-shirt, like graphic t-shirt, right? Or like or like right, like graphic as in like inspirational writing, if you're someone that's very inspirational, with like slack pants, and pairing it with tennis shoes again, or like flats, or you can pair it with Oxford shoes, are also another combo that I love for preppy, more of like classic style. Or a dress, you can wear a really loose fitted dress, and with earrings and accessories. So another way to really be stylish that a lot of people ignore is your accessories. So your accessories are so important because it's another way for you to express yourself without being uncomfortable. So for me, I love earrings. I actually don't have it today, but I wear earrings as a way to be stylish and as my signature like brand, right? Like that's how I express myself, and I just love like kind of dangling around and have things on my face. Um, but so that's a couple of ways to be stylish and be comfort. And ask yourself, like, materials are very important too. And I feel like not a lot of people pay attention to that. Like, ask yourself, how do you feel in these clothes? Like, is it comfortable? Is it itchy? Is it like hot? Is it going to be hot? Polyester is usually really hot during the summer. I know a lot of people already know that. Tencel is very soft. Cotton is always a go-to, and you know, it's it's very breathable. Um, let's see what else. I'm trying to give everything for people. But I think that's a good start. That's a good start. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when reading the question about comfortable clothes are not very attractive, I feel like it's maybe sometimes it could come off as being sloppy,
Hmm.
but like the way you described it completely made sense, like with the t-shirt tucked in and then with the couple of other additions like the earrings, makes it feel very thoughtful. So,
Hmm. Yeah,
thanks for that.
exactly. I would always think of it as like if I was to dress comfortable, what is one step further to take it to the next level instead of, yeah, like what is the next step? Like just a little bit above that could make it a little bit of oomph. Like you can even wear sweatpants too. Like sometimes I wear sweatpants and then I would dress it with a really like like a nicer material on top for the top. Um, and I put tennis shoes on it. Like that works, you know. Um, and also confidence. I mean, it always helps to have a little bit of confidence in yourself and knowing that it's okay if you make mistake or other people judge you, as long as you know that you put effort in it and you know that you know you look presentable. So mhm.
Yeah. Um, with the with the words that we hear so often, business casual, what is that for you? How do you define
Yeah,
that, and what are your thoughts on
yeah,
that topic
absolutely.
in general?
Oh, I love business casual. Like, if you tell me to put me in a suit all day long, I would be very angry by the end of the day. I'd be like, get me out of here. It's so uncomfortable. Business casual for me is something that um, still reflects like who you are, but yet um, the reflecting the best version of you, the best authentic version of you. I think that's what business casual is. That you still put in a little bit of effort to take care of yourself. And I think I love what one of my friends said. She said that it's about respect for other people as well. If they're going to show up and dress um, for you and respect you being there for them, then you should definitely do the same. You get to do the same, right? Um, so just think, um, business, like, just think that what would you, um, like I said earlier, also that like, what would you dress comfortably, but a step above it? That's how I think of business casual. Yeah. Mhm.
Cool. I feel like I always have a lot of fun when I do meet up with people and then I notice something that I get that inspires me and that I like, and I just can compliment them and also think about, oh, I think I would think about maybe getting some of that and taking the idea and putting it in place for myself when I actually shop for my closet later on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or
Mhm.
I have the item already somewhere, but I just forgotten about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that's a great idea too. Is anything that catches your eyes, take note of it and like, how could I make this my own? How could I make this work in my wardrobe? Because if you like it, if you see it, there's a reason why it attracts you, right? So really ask yourself, like, why? What is it about it? Like, oh, can I make it work in my wardrobe? How can I make it work with my body shape? Yeah.
It's also like a little fun conversation starter. Just be like, hey, I really like this that you're wearing, or something like, where is it from, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's communication, right? Like verbal, 90% of our communication comes from nonverbal. So, like, it's a way to communicate, hey, like, I'm showing up here and I'm here and I want to talk. So, it's like inviting for you to like want to talk to them. And that's how the conversation started.
Great. And the next one is I'd like to shop at eco-friendly places. Do you have some information for us?
Yeah, that's something that I'm honestly getting to know it now since some of my clients started to, dive into that area. There's a really cool website called um, I think it's called everydayshirt.com. I have to get clear on that, but it's really cool. Or day to day. I'm pretty sure it's one of those two. I can find out and send it to you, Katie, so you can send it to whoever that asked that question. And what they do is um they they mix t-shirts that are recyclable. So like you will buy it and then you can actually send it back to them and have and replace it with another one. So especially t-shirts, we go through t-shirts so much that I think um like we don't realize how much consumption you know it can be. So it's really great that you could actually like buy something recyclable and then and then bring it back to the place and have them replace another one and send it to you. And I think there's like no cost. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. There's some sort of low cost to no cost to replace the t-shirt, which is amazing. And the quality is pretty good too. Another one, I know the company I used to work for, especially if you're looking for workout clothes, especially nowadays we're stuck in our house and we like, I heard on the radio as like the happiest places that people have been to for the past few days are the gym and the grocery stores. Like highlight of their days. So you're gonna be spending a lot of time in the gym. So a company that I would highly recommend is Fabletics. They are doing a lot. They're doing a great job at continuing to grow in that department of eco-friendly items. And they're a workout company, so I highly recommend it. And the price point is just so amazing um, for what you get and for helping the earth as well. So that's another one that I could think of right now. um what other ones? I'm sure I have them. I just have to like
Mhm.
bring it up and like actually look it up, like pull up the images, I mean the URL link and send it to you. So reach out to
Yeah,
me and then
no
I can
problem.
give you some recommendations. Mhm.
Cool.
And if you have any, let me know. That would be
Yeah.
very helpful.
I don't at the moment, so I'm very interested in the answer, but I'll reach out to you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thinking about adding patterns into the wardrobe, like when is it like over the top too much?
Mm.
Like with getting dressed, like how like head to toe in patterns, is that like way too much? Like how do you do this?
Oh man, okay. I mean, I never put a limit on what you can and can't do.
Mhm.
I think you can definitely go from head to toes. It just depends on how you do it. Just there are a couple of rules that I always follow that always help that always helpful. Number one is if you're going to go from head to toe, just make sure that the patterns are relating somehow. For example, if they have the same colors, um, in their patterns, like at least one or two colors that will bring them back together. Um, if they are not like overwhelming each other, where it's just like when you look at it and you're just like, where did the person go? So that could be a little bit too much. Um, if you're gonna do if you're gonna do like head to head to toe, yeah, like making sure that there's some sort of color that will bring it back together and they're not competing with each other. Another way to bring patterns into your closet is just go slow. Start out with something that a little bit out of your comfort zone a little bit. Start with the classic maybe, and then work it up one pattern at a time, two pattern at a time, three pattern at a time, and play with it and see how it makes you feel. and how it looks, and make mistakes, have fun, and track. Make sure that you track your process, so that you know what works and what doesn't work. And a great way to track it is to take a pictures like right in front of a mirror, or ask somebody to take a picture for you if you're going to try out like a head to toe pattern, for example. And you're like, okay, so did I get lost in those two patterns? Do they harmonize? Do they complement me, or just, like washes me out, or like completely just make me disappear?
Mhm.
So that's great. And then what else? How do you bring pattern into your closet? Another way that you could do, start with shirts. You know, shirts usually are the easiest way to start with patterns. And it also depends on your personality too. Like make sure that like the patterns match with your personality. Like like don't go for a pattern that you just see someone that looks good on someone else,
Mhm.
but not necessarily look good on you.
Cool. Um, Going on to the next thing, it's what are the must-haves or essentials for your wardrobe to look
Um,
professional and fun?
Professional and fun. Oh, I love that question. I always love a fun time. So make sure that you have at least one blouse shirt, like one silk blouse. Is very dressy, and you could always, go back to it. Um, and it's very elegant. And I highly recommend like not white, but more of like a cream color, but it also depends on your skin tone too, and like your color analysis to find out like what kind of white fits you. So I highly recommend that. A pattern pair of a pair of pattern pants is something that I highly recommend too, that is really fun and professional. Make sure you have um, different varieties of t-shirts, um, meaning different varieties of neck, V-neck, U-neck, um, crew neck, so you can, switch and try them out, in white, black, uh, or gray. I would say gray and beige. So have those in your closet. You could always, they're so basic and classic that you could wear them and mix and match them with other things to make them work and make you look classy, professional. And you could mix them with fun items to make different outfits and get the most out of your money. And another thing I would say is have a leather jacket, whatever the leather jacket looks like for you, right? When I say leather jacket, we all come up with an image, but what we don't realize is that the image in each of our heads are so different. So whatever that it looks like for you, have a leather jacket because it's fun. A denim jacket, um, and 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 a graphic t-shirt. That's what I was trying to look for. A graphic t-shirt. I think it's super fun. A blazer is something that you must have too. I would say go for something that's not too structured, in terms of not too structured and not too formal. Go for something a little bit more relaxed fit, so it looks like you're business casual and you're still fun, right? And play with accessories. Play with accessories. What kind of accessories makes you you? What kind of accessories that are lighting you up? So I think that's something that we're missing too. And then shoes. And make sure you have um, the basic shoes, like the nude shoes that you need, a pair of black shoes that you need, and a fun um, like tennis shoes. Or when I say tennis shoes, meaning like not running shoes, more so about like like the classic like flat tennis shoes. um, so I think those are like a really super basic that I think everybody should own in their closet, and to help them mix and match with other items that make your closet really fun and business casual. That was a lot, but I hope you catch that.
Luckily, it's recorded, so we
Oh,
can
okay.
come back to refresh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great.
And so I feel like also we care about, you know, maintaining a budget as well. So any ideas there for how we could do that so that we don't do like impulse buys
Mm.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. So first thing first, make sure you keep track of your closet, of what you have. Do a closet cleanse. I would say if you haven't done it for a while, and get intimate with what you have and why you have them and why you haven't worn them, because it's going to be able to tell you a lot about your patterns, um, and what you do that's not working, what you do that's working. So it stop you from really going out and buying those impulse purchases, because we are impulses for a reason, right? Like there's that subconscious pattern that makes us want to do that, and we don't really know what's underneath it. We're not aware of what's underneath it. So make sure that you are aware of those patterns so that you can actually um, come up with a creative response. That's what I learned to call, meaning that you can actually be aware of what happened and creatively and responsibly respond to your shopping habits. So you're not buying things that you don't need. You're not buying things to please other people. You're not buying things for guilt or for numbing yourself. You're not buying things because of what other people wants you to wear. So that's a really big thing. For example, like there's a pattern in your closet. Um, so I use I'll use me for example. Like I would, you know, I used to do that a lot, like impulse buying, because I wanted to, please, I wanted to go out on a date and buy it for a date um, and impulsively buy it, but like to please other people. Like I would do that. Like I would buy clothes to please other people instead of like buying clothes that are actually beneficial to me. So what happened is that my wardrobe were filled with clothes um that are all about other people and not about me. So when I took awareness of that and stopped doing that, I started to ask myself, what kind of clothes that makes me feel me? What kind of clothes that makes me feel good about me? What kind of clothes that makes me feel authentic? And I stop, like I have more awareness of why I do that. So that's what I meant. And when you go shopping, come up with a couple of questions um, for yourself when you shop. Like have more awareness and ask yourself, why do I need to get that? And is that missing in my closet? Can I pair it with other things in my closet? Can I use it like for multiple occasions, right? Um, and yeah, so those are the questions that I would say to ask when you go shopping. And don't be intimidated with the process. If you are, reach out to other people, look for ask for help, look for support from professionals like other people or me. Reach out to me, and I can always jump on and help you with that. And makes the process a little bit less overwhelming. And I know that shopping is so um, it's just so it carries a lot of energy for some people, um, especially women. I was shopping the other day and I was like, a while ago, a few months during COVID, and I was shopping and I was like shopping around, and I saw a really like well-dressed woman walk into the store and getting dressed, right? And she was just trying on things, and I was looking at her. I was dressing kind of like not to the like I was just in casual clothes, right? But then yet I found myself comparing myself to her, and like while she was trying on clothes, and I start to feel like a little bit of a shame of my body and the way that I show up. And like, this is authentically like me being a stylist, right? Like you would think that I would be like, not like to the 10 all the time, but no, like I also deal with those emotions. And that's why I understand how women feels, um, in those situations. Anyway, so going back to what I was saying, like I start feeling shame. So I can't even imagine like me knowing how to dress. I felt that way. I can't even imagine women who don't know how to dress, or who felt like they're incapable or not good enough because they don't look like that, and they don't know how to, or they don't think that they can. And there's so much shame you carry from that going home. You know what I mean? And you want to stay away from shopping because of that. You want to stay away from expressing yourself because of that. And I feel so much. So reach out for support and know that you can do it. There's no shame in that whatsoever. Everybody feels it. Um, there are good days and there are bad days. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, it kind of ties into the question around how can we embrace our curves and our sexuality without criticism and judgment. So sometimes it could just come from yourself, or just the feelings of that, maybe from others. What are some ideas here?
Yeah. Um, Ask yourself, go deeper. Where, well, let me read that question. How can I embrace my curves and sexuality without criticism and judgment? Okay, great. So, first of all, do some deep work. I always have my clients do some deep work with me. Where did you get the belief that if you were to express your sexuality and your curves, then you will get judgment, that you will get criticism? Who in your life criticized you? Who in your life judged you because you were being yourself? You were expressing your sexuality or your curves. And dive deeper. Is that true? Is that how you want to live? Is that how you decide to live from now on? And go deeper and deeper and get to know it, and know where it came from, and rewrite that story so that you allow yourself to express your sexuality and your curves. And another thing that I wanted to say is courage. Um, you will always be afraid of what other people think until you take the courage to to until you take the courage. I want to be careful with what I say. Until you take your courage to not care about what other people say and think. Does that make sense? Like, the fear will always be there, but once you take a step of courage, it nothing else really matters anymore. Like, it can be so scary, but then you do it and you're like, oh, it really doesn't matter anymore because I already like own myself to take a step and do it. And then another thing I would say is commitment. Like, commit to, this is very esoteric right now, but it's so true because clothes and are so much deeper than that. It's the pattern, is how we relate to it, is how we think, right? So commitment, like, be intentional about your commitment. Are you committing to being authentic and being who you are and step into your power, in this case by expressing your sexuality and your curve? Or are you committing to the judgment? Are you committing to allowing other people's judgment and criticism to dictate how you want to live your life? Right? So that's the first part. The second part is get knowledge. Get knowledge on how to express your curves. Get knowledge on how to express your sexuality. What does that look like? What, like, in terms of colors, in terms of your um your your body shape, in terms of like the clothes that fits your body shape. What does it make you feel like sensual, right? Um, and then and then and then learn how to pair them together, learn how to harmonize them together, um, and practice each day to nudge it a little bit to go out of your comfort zone. And if there's judgment coming up from other people, just like breathe in when you while you're wearing the clothes and just say, I surrender. I surrender to these criticism and I commit to being myself in these clothes because it makes me feel good about myself. So that's what I would say. And how do you embrace? I would do mirror exercise after you do that deep work and look at yourself and just touch your body, like feel your body when you put it on lotion. Just thank your body. Like, I love my curves. It protects me. It like it helps me do things that I want to do, and and um, and just love on it, so that you feel the confident to be able to express it. And also surround yourself with people who are all about expressing curves and sexuality, and encourage you to do that and tell you, yes, do it, love it. Don't listen to the naysayers, because they're not your friends. If they're telling you, criticizing you, there's something going on with them, and it's all about them, and it's not about you. Just know that. So that is my answer.
Wonderful. I feel like a lot of times maybe people are just more focused on the way they look and that they're presenting anyways. So where each of us is thinking about ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then with that, I think it's more like, well, if you try something on in it and you feel I'm happy with this, then that's the marker, or how you can be sure that that's awesome and it's great. Like, who cares?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Everybody's so focused on themselves, they don't look at other people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so we're almost at the end of our time, and
I
of
know,
course,
it goes so
we
quick.
have a time question about getting ready in the morning. And I know earlier you talked a bit about like taking a photo of you and your outfit. I think that is really cool. And while we were talking just now, it made me think about, oh, maybe I just like put the outfit together in like, on one hanger or something, and then maybe if I get to that point, print out the photo so that it's like attached to it, so I can see what I need, what I would usually wear it with, what kind of earrings and or jewelry, and that could speed the whole process up. And also, if I know that I'm going to doing something important the next day, maybe I just kind of before I go to bed, I lay it out, maybe if two different choices just in case I change my mind last minute. But yeah.
Yeah, no,
Let us,
absolutely.
yeah, what are those like good ideas?
Yeah, no, you spot on. Like, prep the night before. Put them on the same hangers. If you don't, then just, like, go through your wardrobe in your mind like the night before, and just kind of scan through, like, what do you have? What can you wear it with? And that way in the morning you just remember it. Or what you just said, like, Katie, like, put it on a hanger, together, or take a pictures and come up with outfit. Like, make your own lookbook so that you have something to revert back to when you're in a rush. And I think that I would tell women when they get ready to save time in the morning is come up with the basic outfits, like your go-to branding outfits that, you know, that 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 like you feel absolutely comfortable with, and have it store, as your basic outfits, like, that reflects the best you. And if there are days that you just happen to be really rushed and you can't do it, you can always go back to that outfit and you're like, got it. That's definitely my outfit.
Mm.
Um, and and I think that's about it. I guess this is a makeup trick that I would always do, right? Like if you don't have time to put on depth foundation, I would usually tell or show or, have my client do is just put on like blush and put on mascara. Do your eyebrows. Your eyebrows are the frame of your face, so you actually come alive. So eyebrows, um, mascara, and blush, and a little bit of your lips. Those four things, and highlighter. Five
Mhm.
things. Highlighter, really brighten up your face. Just have it like on your nose, have it on like the tip of your lips, and then like the corner of your eyes, and then
Mhm.
you just look bright and glittering, and everybody would be like, "What is going on with you? And why are you shimmering?"
Cool. So I just dropped into information to reach out to you and I as well if you're interested in becoming a speaker on one of these talks. And Lynn, can you tell us like what's your current project that you're working on?
Yeah. I what are my current projects? So I am going to be hosting a workshop soon on how to style for your body, and I will also I well, first of all, I have a free gift for everyone here today. So it's called the Dream Master Closet. Sorry, the Dream Closet Masterclass. So in that class, it will tell you all of the patterns in your closet that are deadly, that affects your authentic style and your life. So when you go into that Dream Closet Masterclass, you will find out what is it that you're doing that's sabotaging you with your style and your life, and um, how to overcome those deadly patterns so that you stop, buying impulsive items. You stop doing the things that are sabotaging you. For example, like hiding. So that I would love to offer it to everyone. Just reach out to me with my email. Katie, they have my email, right? So they can.
And they have the website and also Instagram, which is and Facebook also, so they can message you there.
Okay, great, amazing. And then I'm also hosting a workshop, like I said, for how to style your body type. It's everything is still being worked out, but it's a few, like a 3 or 4 days on how to style your body type. And we'll go deeper into that. So that's what I've been up to, and I'm going to be up to. So I'm super excited about that, and I hope to see some of you there. So yeah.
Great. Just want to say a big thank you to you, Lynn, and also for the audience. I really appreciate you participating and listening in and for sending in the questions. Please do stay in touch. I'm going to stop the recording and end the room now, and hope we can speak soon. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, everyone. Bye.